Reomizer V2. Got a 4 ohm coil on here by mistake, but I turned the Rio VV all the way up. I have a stock air hole in there. Let me show you what it's vaping like, and then we'll get into the specifics of it. Okay, so what do I think of the Reomizer? The Reomizer is about $50 shipped to your door. In my opinion, for the little vape bastard, I think that's a little bit too high. Okay, it almost seems like something from China that he just modded so that it works good on the Rio. Okay, it's a disappointment. I mean, but I'm not going to put anything else on the Rio. I think that it's a good match, and that's probably why it was modded. If that was the case, I don't think it was built by scratch. Okay, it's a completely brass mod. Okay, even the connector, it seems to be made out of brass because I'm not getting any pull from the magnet. Okay, maybe the screws aren't brass. I doubt the screws are brass in there. Okay, but the whole body is brass. Okay, and so this is why I think that it was just modified, a $5 China atomizer, which is disappointing in its own right. But right here, this looks like it was just machined down so that it will fit into the juice well. You have to put an O-ring down inside there, which I don't know if you'll be able to see or not. Okay, that O-ring basically seals it up so when you squawk the bottle, it goes into the hole in the connector and not into the juice well. Okay, so it's pretty easy to feed, although I have had one instance where it wasn't feeding and it leaked out, like through pressure. Somehow it leaked out and it got all over inside the compartment, which really sucked. Okay, so I just had to wiggle this and get that hole lined back up. Okay, I just forced the positive pin for the Rio down into the connector. Okay, so now it almost seems flush, not quite, but I don't want to get it down in there any further than what it already is. Okay, I get a little bit of play in there, especially if it's not cinched down really tight. Okay, whenever you open it up to look inside of it, and I was hoping that just the cap was going to come off there, but it didn't. All you got is room for a single coil, and you only got one hole in here. It's a small little hole, but it vapes good. You get good flavor. Got a ceramic cup that somebody put in down there. One of my major disappointments with the Reomizer version 2 is that this post right here, okay, this is taller than the other one, okay, but that's not the issue. It is because it wasn't able to screw down in there far enough so that the holes for the wires, when you make your coil to slide in through there, they're not straight. Okay, this small one, it's straight. So basically what I had to do was make one longer on the right side, or yeah, this would be your right, on the right side, than the one on the left. Okay, so how that went was I put that side in on the small screw, on the small connection first, and kind of just cinched it up so that it wouldn't move. Okay, I didn't finish like pushing it all the way in or anything, but then I had to finagle this so that it went, okay, so here's this coil, and then here's this coil, and then I had to move it out and then kind of come back this way and go in. And I know that somebody knew about that because there was marks on this post where somebody was trying to tighten it down enough to where it would be a good fit, it would be lined up right, and the pliers slipped, so they just let it go. You could see marks where the pliers slipped on there. Okay, and it took part of the finish off of it. So that really disappointed me, and I was going to send this stupid thing back. But then I saw another review, and the guy was blowing nice clouds of vapor like I do with it, and he had the same issue. He had some nice close-up pictures where you could see it, and I was like, okay, fine, I'll give it a go. There's another negative to having to do it, to build your coil like that, is basically it was kind of like a slinky that was flat, but that you moved out just a little bit on one side because of the way you have to finagle it in there to get it inside the hole. So it's basically impossible. You have to do one side or the other that way. So it kind of spread the inner part of the coil closest to the connector apart a little bit, and that sucks. I mean, you know, it's quite a bit of money for this. It shouldn't have that sort of issue, you know. I mean, that's the most important part of the atomizer, is making sure you can get a nice coil in there the way you want it. Okay, so what do I suggest with that? I suggest that you probably make a coil, if this is you. What I made a coil with to get 4 ohms was this micro screwdriver. Next size down is my needle tip right here, and then a size down from that is another different needle tip. Okay, so what I would suggest is at least doing this and doing it with a thinner wire. I did mine right in the middle with the AWG30. I do 32, 30, and 28. Okay, so I did mine right in the middle, AWG30. And instead of doing it with this, next time I'm going to try it with this. And basically what I'm doing there, actually I'm going to try it with this one. What I'm doing there is I'm making the coil longer, so hopefully it doesn't do that slinky stretch. But the issue with that is that I'm not going to be able to get very much cotton in there. My wick isn't going to be as thick, and that's the reason why I went with the screwdriver, because with a dripper it's very easy to burn through your cotton. And when you burn your cotton, what happens with that is that with a micro coil especially, it heats up in the center and goes outward. So if you're burning your cotton, you are basically just reducing the area of your setup where it's going to get hot and make vapor. I mean, sure, there's still a little bit of material in the middle of here, I'm sure, but it's reduced because it's charred and it sucks inwards. Okay, so it makes the wicking area smaller. Okay, so that kind of hinders my vapor production. It basically makes for a more subpar vape. Even though it's still vaping decently, it's not vaping as good as before I accidentally burn it. So you want to watch that. Make sure that as soon as the flavor changes, that you're squawking that bottle and getting some juice in there. You don't want to say, well, I'll wait till I get a burnt tasting hit, or it's like right on the verge of being burnt, because if you do that enough times, then you're going to reduce the amount of cotton that's in the center of that coil. So I just have to unscrew it every time, make sure that my O-ring is where it's supposed to be, because I don't want to screw up and have it not feed in there. And see, this to me just seems so chintzy. I mean, this is like $260 right here, you know? I mean, you wouldn't expect to have to go through this kind of stuff, but then again, we have come a long way in the vaping world, right? So we're a little spoiled. But anyways, that's that. That's the Reomizer version 2. Does it work? Yes, it works. Yes, it works. It works well. Would I buy it again? That's a hard one, because I don't know if there's anything else out there that's this small and sexy looking that you can put on the Reo that performs this well. Okay, so it's a catch-22. Would I buy it again? Yeah, and hope that I don't have that same issue that at least me and the other guy had. I know there's a lot more people out there that own one of these, and if you own one, let me know. Is yours lined right up to where you can get your coil pushed right in there? Because I'm sure that there's also going to be some people that are saying, well, I want to buy one of those, but I don't want to go through that. Okay, so maybe it would be good in the comments, and then I can go ahead and put it in the description. This way more people will be able to see it. Okay, so let me know how yours works. If your connections are straightforward and straight through the little hole, that would be great. Thanks for watching.